But yeah, averaged in on that one. This was the problem there, that 187. We got out of the way real quick off of these 188s when we broke back through. But then we tried the long again right there on a 188 break upside. You know, that was definitely the wrong mistake, and then it just kept on puking, and then there's the short at 185, and just went, I mean, we were able to get that out like any price we wanted to on the bid right there. And again, like,
I've been waiting for this to break down.
Because like these are all the shorts that we had to begin with. You know, up here. No longs on Amazon. It went to 116, and we missed the 118 short punch. So that sucked there as well. And then Alibaba, you want to talk about a name that just got destroyed that we absolutely called, was this 118 top there, and that got destroyed down to 109. So despite all these...
Yeah, that accelerated quickly, guys. Pretty ugly close. Right through to the bell. Heavy selling right across the entire board. 2.3 for the S&P, 2.7 there for the NASDAQ, the Dow 1.6. But yeah, top to bottom, not good ahead of tomorrow. But on your point, Sean, that you were mentioning there ahead of CPI tomorrow, I did see a lot of other people kind of agreeing with you in that. How convenient would it be that, you know, we get this potential buying opportunity ahead of an explosion on a better than expected number tomorrow?
The last time I saw my quote board look like that, the market bounced. Like the next, I remember, I don't remember the day that it happened, but it was like I couldn't find anything green, and everything was like 5 to 10, 12%, 7, 8. It was just one of those types of lows. The next day, there was a bit of relief. So sometimes that's what happens when you get the biggest wipeouts. One thing that did come in, and thank you for someone pointing this one out, and I just messaged one of our traders, Micron's back at that 66 level. And I remember the last time we got down here, it's been here 4 times and then made nice bounces. I've been waiting for this to break down at this price for quite some time. Remember when Intel was at a level like this on the daily chart, but Micron's is gigantic because it's not just this quadruple bottom. You can also go back to October of last year that it managed to hold this level. So if we talk about shelves breaking, this shelf breaks, oh baby, watch out below. Hasn't broken yet, obviously. We ended up closing at 66 here, but Micron.
I don't know, man. It's just been a nasty day. AMD comes out. I mean, Brendan just talked about this. And you know, Lisa Su, which is a great CEO, comes out and says that it should be a down year for PCs. So that's not going to be great, as AMD today takes down that 100 and now is at that 98.80. Now it's, okay. All right, now she must have just said something good. As I just talked about it, now it's through 100.
I got to say something here because everyone's asking where the Tupac bars are. We didn't get to 1,000 likes. It's that simple.
Why didn't we get to 1,000 likes?
We didn't get to 1,000 likes.
You know why? Because I didn't ask for it. Nobody asked for likes. Like, honestly, we need to be doing this a lot more, man, because I asked for likes yesterday and we went up to 1.6K. So, like, guys, hit the like button. Let's go. I asked for likes in the morning. We went up from 1.8 to 2.4 super fast. Look at AMD right here, guys. AMD just moving like Lisa Su dancing right now with the market. That just went to 101 there and now pulled back to 98. It's like it's earnings all over again here for AMD as that is starting to go real crazy real fast. So, yeah, watch it. Now 96. Like, look what AMD's doing. It's almost like this is like event time right now. Oh, yeah, it is. They're speaking right now.
They're having event time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Lisa Su right now talking. It just went to 101 when we were talking about it, and then all the way down to 96. So now back to 98.50. Like, this is wild, man. And it's not like it's on no volume. This is actually trading here. So, wow, what a crazy day. Let's finish this up and wrap this up right now. We'll see you tomorrow. It should be a fun day. Have a great evening from everybody here. Go ahead, Brendo.
As AMD sees long-term revenue growth of 20% over 3 to 4 years. So, I mean, more coming from these comments from them now.
Wow. Okay. Tomorrow's Sticky Note will be shorting Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, all this stuff. Let's see where it comes into play right here. But, yeah, it should be a nasty one. But for everybody here at Trader TV Live, get ready. What was that?
DocuSign. That's got to be a miss.
Doc, everything probably a miss right now. So this market's nasty. I'm hoping for a good CPI print. We'll see if that can save the market. Sleep well if you can, and I hope you're not divorced. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30, Trader TV Live. Ciao, guys.
Where I think there's a lot to be able to learn from. I know Sean and I were both looking at this one off a very key level. Now, keep in mind, post-split, you had the hype, Everyone wanted to buy in front of it, but it's a sell the news event. Not a lot of things have changed fundamentally. Sure, you might get some call selling, you might have some options action, which can cause a little bit more price movement, but really, it just feels like the air got let out of it. Now, there's only a couple of days post-split that we're going to be looking at here. Obviously, we were looking at 124 before, got the 15-minute chart up because we're really just looking at a couple of sessions worth. Now, we did have a good loose support level, and I'm using the word loose for a good reason, at 121. That's what we're eyeballing. You can also have a look. If you have a daily chart up, you can watch around that 2,400 level. 24 and a quarter was relatively big. That's about that same 121 price when you consider the split. So considering the fact that the market was looking weak this morning, I mean, short bias was for a lot of people going to be in there. You're thinking about that resistance level. Now, the thing about a loose price area, and that's sort of the interesting thing, because at the open, there were some good scalp trades, and I think we're both looking at scalping the bottom to make sure that we caught some of this in case you got that market pop. The truth of the matter is, when you have summertime markets, throw in the opening rush, there is volatility with lower liquidity. And at the open, you're really feeling that. So you're getting a lot of these big wick candles where you have to sort of be patient and wait for it to test your level. Otherwise, it's so easy to get stopped out. So initial candle just goes right to the upside. It's like, wait a minute, let's hold off. We did get some in that same channel. I had actually an entry back here on 20. So we got 20 a couple of times and scalped out off that 119.50. We then had one entry right before the open. It spikes, tests our 121. Here's the key thing. That's a nice little wick off top failure. So favorite setup, pop and fade. It fails off that 120, allow it to come back down and then grab the short where you're able to lie. Now, when we do get the flush back into support at 119.5, it's essentially giving you $1 at that point, but you know there have been buyers at that level. So allow it to bounce. Initially take it when it tries to curl at the second low, or second lower high, but once it decides it wants to make another run at 121, allow it to come up, test 121, another fail, and this is when you jump back into it. Now, there's one mistake that got made here, and that was getting some out at VWAP. Right? Should not have had this exit here. That should always be held for that 119.50 area. And then we talk about opportunity costs all the time. And there is nothing, I will tell you this right now, there is nothing you can do worse than have 3 or 4 good ideas out there and then have the hot chick or new kid on the block come and take your attention away. It's the worst thing ever, because what was I looking at short? Amazon, Novavax, and Bilibili. Instead, that PBTC or whatever the heck it is went nuts, and I get distracted away from it and do not take this softball trade to get a re-entry off of 121. And then you see it flush right back, giving you that range in a 119.50. Now, at noon, when it holds the low here, I kind of usually have this rule. When I do a pop and fade trade, if we hold that low till lunchtime, I tend to think it's going to make a bit of a bounce. And I'm like, yeah, it's not going to go. Let's just get it out. The market's been range bound. We're not breaking those lows. And I get out of all of it. Should have held on to it, because here's the key thing about how weak Amazon is today. Taking out that bottom, ES, NASDAQ, holding them lows. We're still actually at the range while this is breaking through the bottom. That sometimes gives you an idea of the overall relative weakness of a name like Amazon. I understand everyone was excited about that split. Couple of days into it, there's just been these shelves. It just cannot get past. It was 124, now it's 121. Rejections of those prices. However, if you use the hard stop, 121.01, you couldn't have had this trade. You had to allow it to test that level and fade, give it a little bit of room, be willing to hold on to it a little bit longer. But more importantly, and I'll say it openly, don't get distracted away from the more important names, right? Because what will happen is you'll have something planned out, and then you can just work off that all day long. Like, you could still be playing this, maybe not to 121, but even down off that 120.50 area. You could still be playing this to the south side when you've got yourself a good directional bias. That's the type of market we're in. A lot of times during summer, you're going to have things slow down. You want to make sure you're getting the most out of the stocks that are actually moving.